Mishnah says, Be'ikvis Mashiach, right before Mashiach, chutzpah yazgi. Chutzpah will prosper. And the Mishnah at the end of Saita goes through different, very, very difficult, challenging signs of ikvus of the Mashiach. And then there's one line there. Yirei chet yimasu. Those who fear sin will be scorned. They will be diminished. They would be dismissed. Yimasu. People will be disgusted with it. Very sharp word, yimasu. It's going to be like muktzamach. Oh, you fear hate? You still have yiras hate? Yimasu. So on the basic level, it's talking about a society that is allergic to anybody who has yiras shamayim. The CHIZUK says, I heard from Reb Zusha of Anapoli that it means something else. The ikvis Mashiach, before Mashiach comes, within the Jewish world, yirei chet yimasu. Children will be allergic to people who are scared of Hashem only because He is a punitive, penalizing father, vindictive and vengeful, and therefore He will kill the living daylights out of you and destroy you if you don't behave. Why? He said, Reb Zusha said, because they're going to be looking for a relationship of love. They're going to be looking for a relationship that's intimate. Now it makes a lot of sense. It says in Medrash Rabbah and also in Shmois and Boy that Bizman Hazeh is Erusin and La'osid Lava is Nisuyin, which means today is the betrothal. When a chassan and kala got married, but it took 12 months, they were still living separate. L'moisa Mashiach yiyu nisuyin, they become one. What does that mean? It means that a galus Yiddishkeit is one, where the husband and wife are still separate. Nisuyin is where there becomes intimacy, oneness. Now imagine if your wife would tell you, yeah, the only reason I'm nice to you is because your credit card. Nothing else. I don't care anything about you. You're irrelevant. But I need your money. Imagine your husband would tell you, the only reason I'm a good husband is Pashut. The meals are unbelievable. I want to eat. I want somebody to run my house. You? So the Maharal says in Tiferes Yisrael, he says, but we tell it to God all the time. You know why I'm putting on tefillin? I want Olam Haba. I don't want Gehenna. I want your credit card. I don't know who you are. I'm afraid of Gehenna and I want Gan Eden. Reb Zusha says there comes a time, the Jewish people say, I want a real relationship. I want to be one with you. V'hayu l'baseh echad. V'hayu nisuyin. I want to be one with you. That's not survival. When I'm in survival mode, it's all about survival. All I could think is about my survival. When I'm expansive mode, prefrontal cortex, v'chuli, 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 and beyond, then I could be fully present. I could be fully integrated, vivacious, alive, present. So how do you get Klal Yisrael to transition from a Yiddishkeit that is often, I don't want to be so sharp, but I will be, that is often somewhat narcissistic. My Olam Haba, I'm going to be a gadol, I'm going to be perfect, I'm going to be a Baal Madrege, I'm going to be an unbelievable guy, I'm going to have unbelievable nachas. A woman once came to me after a class and she said, I have a miserable marriage and a miserable life, but I'm happy. I said, why? She says, because I was told that for every time I experience misery, I get more Olam Haba. I'm like, Ribono Shalayla. I felt miserable. It's a very immature way of looking at Yiddishkeit. It's like, who is this God? A teenager came to me in Muncie the other day, a very good family, and he comes in and he wanted to shock me. So he says, Rabbi, before we begin, I just want to say I am an atheist. He thought I'm going to take a baseball bat, skillas, reifa, herik, chenek, kol mesaskim, shoimrim, mezamrim, chavre kadisha, make a matzeva. So I gave him a piece of paper, and I said, I want you to write down on this piece of paper who God is. You don't believe in God, right? I want you to describe the features that you know about God. Very intelligent kid, and he did. I looked at the paper, and I said, I have some news for you. I'm also an atheist. I am an absolute atheist. As the Baditchever, it's not my own idea. Baditchever once told a Yid, the God was du glaubst nicht in, glaub mir, as ich glaub nicht in, afilu asach mer wie dir. The God you don't believe in, trust me, believe me, I believe in him much less than you believe in him. How does Klal Yisrael go on a journey from a Yiddishkeit that is defensive and based on survival, and often not worked out, and sometimes even immature and primitive, and some ego there, or a lot of ego, to a place of real oneness with infinity, real oneness with Hashem, Ein Oid Milvadai, which is Geula. How? So, I would like to submit, in conclusion, V'im Shagisi Hashem Yechape Ba'adi, that it's all of these children who are allowing us to evolve, because each one of them challenges us to look in the mirror. Oh, I have another mirror here. Wow. Gedalia, you're good. They challenge us to look into the mirror. Ad shuv af achicha mimcha. Why do you care about Shabbos? Why do you care about tefillin? A father comes over to me also in Muncie, a certain community, and he says, my son took off his shtreimel. He doesn't wear shtreimel on Shabbos. I said, you're coming to me. I also don't wear shtreimel on Shabbos. I wear a Chicago Borsellino hat from the Mafia. You remember from the 1930s, the Chicago hat? He says, yeah, but you didn't reject your father. Your father didn't wear shtreimel. I told him I rejected my father in other ways. He says, but the shtreimel. I said to him, I hear it's painful. The shtreimel, I love a shtreimel, it's beautiful. But I said, you know that your son doesn't put on tefillin. He doesn't keep Shabbos. And he looked at me and he says, yeah, but that nobody sees. This everybody sees. He has to go on a journey, like I have to go on my journey, like we have to go on our journey. The shtreimel is a beautiful thing, chas v'sholem, and for a child to continue the minhagim and the culture of parents is a beautiful thing. But I have to ask myself, is it a beautiful thing because of my own shame and what the rabbi in the shul is going to say about this man, Torah Gedula b'makom echad, and suddenly the family is not perfect? Or there's other things. Every person on their level, I have to look at my marriage, and I have to look at my childhood, and I have to look at my midas, and I have to look at my wounds, and I have to ask myself what my relationship with Hashem is, and who am I as a person, and what am I afraid of, and what are my unresolved things that I may not even know about because they are my survival skills. And each one of these children, one day we're going to look at ourselves and look at them and say, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to grow up. I didn't mean to say it so primitively, but maybe it's pretty primal. Thank you for allowing me to evolve. Thank you for allowing me to ask not what I need from God, but to ask what God needs from me. Thank you very much.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.